feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel like, you feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions. You feel
I thought you been wrong there. Hell, you in here. I didn't even know you been in here.
you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions.
What's going on, Miss Amelia?
You feel like, you feel like, you feel like rain in the morning, giving me mixed emotions.
How you doing, Miss Amelia? How you doing, honey? Welcome, welcome. Always pray and ask God to protect what belongs to you. Okay. I just got off the phone with my sister, and I was telling my sister, and I like, we live in times where people is playing in the spiritual realm, things that God don't want people doing. I may say I'm doing pretty good, Bunny. Glad to hear you doing good, Miss Amelia. Glad to see you, honey. So it's very important that we stay prayed up the times that we are living in. A lot of people is going through hardship because we have spiritual thieves, people who really believe to play up in your spiritual realm, taking things that doesn't belong to them. Now, a lot of things that I know, God give it to me. A lot of downloads. So I would love to give it to the people. Betty Boop, how you doing, honey? Welcome, Wonder Woman in the house. How y'all ladies doing? I was telling Miss Amelia it's very important that you pray and ask God to protect what belong to y'all. Look at Miss Carla. How you doing, Miss Carla? Good to see you too, honey. Good to see you. Make sure, y'all, when you're going to prayer, we got to start being more pacific when we praying to God. Ask God to protect everything that was belong to you. Make sure you put that in your prayer. Okay, because we have spiritual thieves, people who out here running rampant. Okay, they know how to go into them dreams, baby, and take things that doesn't belong to them. So it's very important. A lot of people who was going through hardship, sometimes that's where it was coming from. People stealing your life. Some people call it swapping lives. Some people call it different things. I was telling my sister on tonight, I said, out here don't even look the same no more. It's a gloomy look. And I really believe the times that we are living in, God is sending punishment and God is setting order. That means for all who've been doing the right thing, you're going to reap your, those and did what is right by God, they're going to reap their judgment. It's not the final judgment, they're going to reap their judgment. Y'all remember in the Bible, in Revelation, when it speaks about it's going to be famine in the land, where it speaks about the grocery stores not going to have that much food. It's going to be a shortage on just about everything. I believe we living in that time now. That's why we seeing a lot of people getting punished, a lot of people being blessed. Those who holding on, who done went through for a long time, still hold on because you're going to get your blessing. Do not throw in the towel. I've been out earlier today, and that's why I don't care, y'all, to leave. If I had somebody to go handle what I gotta, get done within that day, I'll send somebody. But I gotta go myself. I don't like going out. Things don't even look the same no more. I'm doing good, Betty Boop. Thank you for asking, honey. Things don't even look the same. Everything looks so gloomy. God is sending punishment out to people. Some of these people, y'all, who've been on their high horses, God is sending punishment out to these people. Not everybody, but those who choose not to change and do the right thing, He is sending judgment, punishment. Don't you know punishment is like a judgment? Some of these people getting reprobated mind. They're not even in their right mind. Some of these people is literally going out of their minds because they choose to do the same thing over and over and over again. Some people call it purgatory. Some people call it different things. When you trap in your own mind. I tell anybody, if you trap in your mind and you feel frustrated, go into prayer. God is the only one who can change whatever you're going through. That's why when I go through things, I always tell anybody, y'all should do the same thing. Don't come to me. Go to God. Go to God about it. We as men, we can't change nothing. But when you go to God about your problem, He can change anything. Whatever you're going through, he can change it for you. But you got to mean it when you go into prayer. You got to get on your knees and tell God everything you did. When I went into prayer, I tell God everything I did. Even though he know what we have already done, he still want us to confess what we done. Some people are saying, God know about it. Yeah, he know about it, but he want us to confess what we done. He don't want us to keep our mouth shut. He want us to tell him what we done. People, places, things, whatever it is, tell God about it. God, the only one that can ease a load. But one thing I know, I would never tell y'all nothing that I never been through before. God saved my life several times. Me falling asleep on the highway. He saved my life. I supposed to been dead and gone. Some things I ain't even tell y'all. Never even mentioned that at all. I just kept it to myself. But when you go to God about anything and you keep your faith in God, God gonna tell you just what you need. God got more power than anything upon the face of this earth. He the one hold all the power over anything upon the face of the earth. The higher power God who created everything. Everybody. I don't put my faith in no man. I'm saying man as man and woman. I don't put my faith there. I put my faith in God, no matter what it looked like. I go through things all the time, but guess what? I still give it to God, and y'all need to give it to God. Don't ever take something. Don't ever take anything in your own hands. You got to give it to God. When you tell God about how you want that thing to be handled, and if he see fit in his will, he'll let it be handled just like that. We live in a time where the enemy is running rampant. Betty Boop been a member for 20 months. Look at my Betty Boop. Said, come on now, beautiful love. Yes. The enemy running rampant. Imagine, y'all. Let me tell you, the other day, me and my sister were talking tonight. She said, girl, I saw 2 roaches in my house. We never was brought up with roaches, right? I said, you got to be mindful who come in your home. Now I'm going somewhere with this. I said, you got to be very mindful who come in your home. I said, you got to understand the times that we are living in. Roaches considered to be a filthy, I call it a parasite. To me, it's a parasite, right? It's hard to get rid of. They just keep multiplying. Some people may call it different things. I call it a parasite. Okay? It's not a parasite, okay? I know that, but that's what I just call it. Roaches are very filthy, and people gotta understand something. I was never brought up with roaches. My sister never brought up with roaches. So she told me she saw 2 of them. She got the house sprayed or whatnot. To make the long story short, so I told my sis, I said, you got to understand something. The enemy will bring roaches, right? Because you got to understand monetary spirits, they can't linger in a clean house. It got to be filth, right? When your house is clean, the enemy will send roaches in your home. So when that spirit come, it can linger. It got something to attach itself to. Not literally saying that the monetary spirit will get inside of a roach. I heard people say it could, but monetary spirits can be like dead people. Somebody done summons the dead, or somebody just came into your house and they, it's many things people call it, right? In order for that monetary spirit to linger in that home, filth got to be around somewhere. So that's why the roach is there. Roach can't be in a clean. Your house can be so clean, but you end up finding two roaches, right? That spirit gotta have something there to linger. That's why it's very important that we pray in our homes. We be mindful who come in our homes. Sometimes you got to meet people at your door. Not saying that you acting better. Not saying that your house is better than everybody. It's just that you trying to protect what belongs to you. We living in times where people is swapping out people's destiny in the spiritual realm. I heard about this years ago, y'all. I probably been in my 20s. And I used to always say, no, that's not possible. It's true. So when you see people who dealing with sickness and different things of that nature, half the time these sickness that people have, it wasn't that you did anything, it's because somebody have did something that they're not supposed to have done. That's why it's very important when we go in prayer, we got to be very specific to God on what we want God to do, how we want God to protect what belongs to us, our health, our home, our cars, our food. It's just so many things the enemy is doing right now, y'all, to hurt God's people. We gotta go in prayer like we we on a rampage nowadays. We can't sit back no more and let the enemy win. I tell you, if you're going through something, go to God about it. Go into prayer. God can change anything. I remember years ago, y'all, I went through something. I was out of my mind. One of my family members said, oh, we need to go. This happened for real. We need to go take her. We need to go take her. I said, uh-uh. I said, take me to the mother house. Take me to the mother house. God said, take me to mother house. I said, I don't believe in them things. Don't take me there. Because if you take me there, I'm going to die. God's honest truth. They took me to mother house. I remember it like yesterday. Excuse me, I put my glasses back on. They took me to mother house, and when I got to mother house, they called a priest. I remember when that priest came over, y'all, we had to join a circle. It probably been like 1 o'clock in the morning. It probably been like a almost 30-minute ride. But the ride seemed like we was riding for hours to me. While I'm sitting in the car, y'all, and they riding on the highway, I could have seen dead people on the side of the road. We passed, matter of fact, 2 graveyards. I could see the dead people off in the graveyard standing up watching. The beans on the side of the highway where the grass sat, it was these angels. They was tall. They'd been about 8, 9 feet tall. Angels. They didn't have no form of a human. It was angels standing on the rock. I said, why these angels got 2 heads on it? They said, what you mean? What you talking about? I said, these angels got 2 heads. It's not one head. They got literally 2 heads on their body. So in our way, when we got to the house, y'all, we join a circle and we begin to pray. We join hands and we begin to pray. As we begin to pray, I remember, y'all, like yesterday. Felt like somebody took a cup of blood and was pouring it down my throat. This is no lie. Like somebody literally had a mug full of blood and they was pouring it inside of my mouth. Like I was literally drinking the blood going down inside my body. I couldn't see nothing. My vision went blank. I couldn't see nothing. Now, the whole time my vision was blank, my sister and my mom tell me what was happening. I couldn't see nothing. I was literally in a whole dark room. I couldn't see nothing. And the room wasn't even dark. My eyes was open, but my vision was black. Black as day. My sister told me that night when the priest came and he began to pray. She saw I was speaking in 5 different languages at one time. I couldn't believe it, right? I remember when they took me from the house, they took me to the church. I been in that church till the next morning. My mom and sister was still there because I left back with them. And I remember that morning, that priest asked me, he said, tell me what you see. When I look around that church, it was a cross all through the church, on every wall, ceiling. And on the ceiling top, I see a lady holding a veil in front of a man. So he said, tell me what else you see. I said, I see a lady holding the veil. Not the veil, y'all. The flower. It was a flower, like you getting married. She had a wedding dress on. It was a lady with a wedding dress on, but the lady didn't have no color to it. No color at all. It was the image of a lady and a man, but the lady was holding a bouquet of flowers in her hand. And she had a wedding dress on with the man. And he said, what else you see? I said, I don't know why all these crosses in here, but crosses all over the ceiling, the walls, everything was covered in crosses. I remember like yesterday. He said, we done. When I walk out that door, I never smelt air that smelt like that ever in my life. I never smelt flowers that smelt like that ever in my life. It smelled like I walked in a bouquet of flowers that smelled so good. Everything literally on the outside was so bright and beautiful, like a child took a coloring book and used a crayon and just y'all remember we been in school, you took the crayon and we double colored something and we just keep coloring on top of it till it looks so nice and pretty and shiny. Everything outside, inside, looked like somebody colored it with a coloring book. Perfect. I was going through this for a couple of months. The next following week, I had to go back to Georgia, to my home. I traveled probably for about 45 minutes in my travel. I remember it was this Caucasian couple riding in the car. I remember it like yesterday. When I was driving that car, this 2 couple that was in the car, the man and the lady had turned the same time at me when I was driving. Now that's the next following week now. They had turned the same time. The man, I wasn't even on the road. They kept their eyes on me the whole time, and their whole eyes was white as snow. So while they looking at me, I'm looking at them when I'm driving. But God said, remember, you on the road. Pay attention to the road. So I'm staring back at the road, staring back at them, and they ain't never turned their head to the highway. They still got their head on me for but 2 minutes, 2 good minutes. Now me, I was looking at them and looking back at the road, like what in the world? Their whole eyes was white, everything. The black pot was white. I never seen nothing like that before. I was by myself that day. Matter of fact, when I left to go to Georgia that day, I probably left around 10 that morning. So I'm steady riding. They done turn back to the road. They zoom on. The next the person normal. You just keep driving normal. Ain't nothing wrong with them. It wasn't every car. It was every other car. The every other car that had the white eyes, they was the only people that was driving next to me when I was on the road going to Georgia, turning their head. If somebody in the car with that person, they turn their head the same time. Eyes white. So the whole time I'm driving, I said, my father, what is this? He said, I'm showing you who have spirits in them and who don't have the spirit. Evil spirits from spirit of God. He was showing me the difference, right? It's three kind of spirit, right? The spirit, the white eye is evil spirit, but the spirit of all black eyes was demonic. And those who wasn't cursed with this had regular eyes. I did see a couple. Now, the two older person I saw, theirs was white. The second car was white. A couple of cars after that, it was all black. I understand what that means. So normally before somebody passed away or they but to die, a person's eye is going to turn all black. That means death, right? But we'll get into that another time. So I'm on my way going to Georgia that morning. My father literally was teaching me what to look for in certain people. Because you know, your eyes are the windows to a person's soul. The eye speaks a lot on what's going on with that person in their life, what they're doing, hidden things and everything like that. Most time you will see people, they wear shades, sometime to protect from the sun, sometime to protect their soul. They don't want you figuring, you know, their life out, however the case may go, right? People who don't believe in God, they hide it. They put a block there where you won't really notice the things what's going on in the soul. When I got to Georgia that morning, I got to Georgia probably around 12 something. Because I had a heavy feet, y'all. A real heavy foot. When I got to my home, I got real tired. I laid down and things began to come to me. God's still speaking to me. A lot of things I'm still not understanding, but I'm still learning. Because I was way younger, right? In my 20s, I was, learning still. So I'm saying this to say this, y'all. It's very important that we be more pacific when we praying to God. We got to be careful of people who come in our lives. Everybody who come in our life just because we know them, we love them, doesn't mean they mean well. We living in a season where the enemy is using our family, our friends, people who we thought we can trust. We got to be very careful how we sit and allow these people, trust these people. And I'm not saying that just throw everybody away. I'm not saying that because some people are teaching for us. We got to learn from people. But what I'm saying, when it comes to your home, protect your home. Don't allow everybody to walk in your home and get in your car. I had to learn the hard way. And like how I said, it doesn't mean that you better. It means you're protecting yourself and your family who live in your home. One of my clients told me years ago, when she got off work, she went straight to the shower. They took a shower. I don't know who this for, because sometimes we could talk things and it might be for somebody who knows. When she got off work, she said, Bunny, I went straight to the shower. She said normally she'd stop by Papa's house before she go home, but she didn't do that. She went straight home, went in the shower. I knocked been at her door. Now this knock that been at her door, she forgot the whole time that the door was unlocked. She never locked the door. Now she in the shower. Now let me slow down. Let me rewind it back to the beginning a little bit. She told me her family member called and said they was gonna out another family member in their self too, right? She talked to that person and told them no, not to do that or whatnot. Everything will be okay. Go pray to God, however the case may go. She thought the person was good when she done talked to them because they close like that. She thought they would have took in what she said, and that's that, because they always take what she said, and that's that. They just go with that. So when she got off work, she went straight in the shower. She had a knock at the door. She couldn't even get to the door. But she noticed the door was unlocked. She ain't never locked the door. She said that family member came there and she said, Bunny, the door was unlocked. She could have heard the knob. I don't know how, y'all. She could have heard the knob. She don't know how that boy couldn't get in her house, right? When he came to her house, he was gonna kill her, go back and kill the other person himself. But so God made it so where he blocked him, where he couldn't even come in that house, even though that door was unlocked. He couldn't get in that house. When I said, God said, when you a prayer warrior, he gonna protect you just by praying. God gonna do just that. God not gonna allow nobody just to trample all over you. He not gonna allow the enemy to use somebody to take you out when he got hands on you. I don't care if it's your loved one. God has hands over that lady. Her door was unlocked and he still couldn't get in that home, y'all. He still couldn't get in the home. And I guess other family member been around before he took his life, because he's supposed to took hers too, because he said it. And she ain't never did nothing to him. His mind, the enemy just came in him and used him and take how much people out as he can. But when you a prayer warrior, God got your name written, baby. He ain't not gonna touch you. See, the enemy may think it, but God gonna keep you and hold you in the palm of his hand. God, the only one, can outfight any battle upon the face of the earth if you give it to him. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you did. I don't care what's the cause of whatever it is. If you give it to God, God can lighten it. Sometimes God allows us to go through things just to see if we're going to go to him or if we're going to go to man. If we want man to fix it, if we want him to fix it, he let us pick and choose. And sometimes if we choose man to fix whatever we going through, sometimes God is sudden death just because we made the wrong call. I don't care how heavy the Lord feel. I don't care what you're going through in life. You give it to God. You give it to him. Don't ever let nobody trick y'all out of your destiny. I went through a lot of hell and high water. But in spite of what I went through, I still give it to God. I ain't never for once said I'm going to give it to man. I take it head on and say, Lord, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to let you fight that. When you give something to God and you fully trust only in him, when you call upon him and you need him, it ain't going to be no problem. He got you. You ain't got to wait no 2 or 3 days. You know why? When you call and you put your trust only in God all the time, God know that. He gonna have you the minute you cry out, he got you. That same time you cry out. Just because of your faithfulness. Don't ever let nobody turn you away from that. Don't ever let no man tell you to cast yourself in for other things in this world and just give up God. You will have it better with this. No, baby, you got it better with God. Trust and believe. God got more power than anything upon the face of this earth. And you best to believe when you put your trust in God, whatever you'll say is, God gonna stamp it, baby. God gonna stamp it because of your faithfulness. He know you mean well. That's why he allow it to happen, whatever it is. Don't ever put your faith in no man. I don't care how much you love somebody. I don't care if it's your mama. Sometimes you gotta forsake mama and daddy and sisters and uncles and brothers. Sometimes you gotta forsake these people when it come to God. Some people I don't give away because of my father. When you sacrifice something from God, that's a powerful thing. When you say, God, I'm going to give up whatever it is, whatever you choose to sacrifice, God, that's a beautiful thing to our Father God. That's beautiful to him. That's the beautiful thing. If God show you something for what it is and you say, Lord, I take it for what it is, I still love them in spite of. And if God tell you to turn away for right now, turn away. You don't sacrifice something for God. If God tell you to do something, that's a sacrifice. And if you do it, that means he trusts you. So whatever your say is, baby, you can bank on it when it come to your father. You ain't got to do no magic upon the face of the earth. You ain't got to do none of that when it come to God. God is all theirs and all that it will be. Trust and believe me. I went through a lot of things in my lifetime. Some things I told y'all I done been through. And Wicked asked me, what do you want me to do back? Just name one. Nothing. Wow. You don't want nothing be done back? This is something new. This is what Wicked told me. This is something new. Everybody want one wish. You don't have one wish where you want something to happen back to the person who hurted you? No, I don't. I was young, but I understood. I understood. From a little girl almost into my teenage years, it was this lady visiting me. It was this being. I'm going to call it a being because it always come at night. Never come nowhere near the bed. But it stands up in that room for hours in one spot looking. It wasn't my mama. My mama been in her bed sleep. So let me fast forward when I got older. So when the evil asked me, name one, just give me one wish since this happened to you on what you want me to do back to them for you. One wish. I knew as a young child that wish is a wish that I'm granting back on myself. I knew that the knowledge was in my head already. I said nothing. I knew the enemy was tricking me. While the enemy was talking to me, the enemy was tricking me to go against myself. But I had that knowledge already instilled in me, but I didn't really fully understood. But I know because God was speaking to me at a young age, don't do it. And I said nothing. The man with the horse foot said, oh, everybody wanted one wish. You was the first who never asked for anything back. He told, don't you ever bring her back no more. She been smite by God. She already been mocked by God. If you bring her, it could bring death to him because he is in a different realm from me, right? I didn't understand that when I'm a young child. I didn't understand that thing. Stacy, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I love the backdrop. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, hon. Mercy, mercy. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Stacy. I appreciate it, hon. But yeah, that man, he asked me that, but I understood because God was speaking in my spirit. I'm going to go, I'm going to tell y'all this, but God was speaking in my spirit, telling me, okay, hey, sis. God was telling me in the spirit, if I made a wish back to the person who harmed me, I'm basically making a wish back on me, right? So I said, I don't want nothing to happen to that person. The man was literally kind of like egging it on, like, make her give one wish, make her. And they said, no, she don't want no wish. That's just how she wanted, you know? But make the long story short, power come when you choose not to do wrong to somebody. But God can't allow you to give judgment when you put your faith in him. Y'all got to understand God power is more powerful than anything upon this face of this earth. God power is more powerful than anything upon the face of the earth. His power is more greater. When you put your faith in God and you could take anything head on, whatever somebody doing to you from a child growing up, and I did it, y'all. I took a lot of things head on. From older people doing to me when I've been a young child. I've never been touched that I can't remember. And if I was, God took that out of my mind where I can't remember it. But I went through things from grown people, not being molested or nothing, being hitted on as a little girl. Wasn't even in my knowledge yet, by grown people. By grown people. But my faith was in God. I didn't fully understand, but I always believed in God, and I always hated evil. I hated evil so much, I used to fight people who believe in evil. Just fight them, y'all. Just go and just beat them up and do all kind of crazy stuff when I've been young, y'all. And tried to come in my right sense. That's not right to do that. So I'm saying this, when you put your trust in God and fully in God and you take whatever head on, I don't care if you're going through problems in your relationship, your job, whatever you're going through, sometimes you got to tell people, I eat that, thank you. And go pray to God about it. The more you give it to God, the more God is going to amp you up. You can't go down, baby. You're going to rise to the top. That's just how it is. Whatever you're going through right now, I don't care what it is, what kind of mistake you made or whatever you've been through, give it to God. When you give your mistakes to God, God find honor in that. You don't sacrifice something. You give something back. And when you don't give something back, that's how blessings begin to roll into your life where it be an overflow. Don't ever let nobody trick you out of your spot in life. Man would trick you. See, man always want the quick way out, but when it come to God and you do it the way where you know you got to go through, but you know God got you, that gonna stick. Ain't no man gonna take that from you. Always remember that. I don't care what you go through. Ain't no easy way out this thing in life except with God. Y'all know how many stuff I used to go through. I see dead people walking through my house. If you ever gotta go through that, say, devil, you is alive. I'm not gonna let you run me out my house. When I know who my father is, and rebuke that mess out of your house, and it's gone instantly. Because you got to understand, the enemy going to try you sometime. God just sitting back seeing what you're going to do. He want to see if you're going to run to another enemy or you're going to pray to him. When you pray to him, that's how you gain things from God. When you pray to him, you ain't got to keep going in the prayer. He going to answer you right away when you do go. Always remember that. Y'all have a nice night. Please like this live, honey. Thank y'all again for joining me. And I love each and every one of y'all.